Hey, Maxleets. When is a weight too heavy to pick up? Well, the best indicator is when you just can't pick it up at all. That's probably when it's too heavy. However, there are times when you can actually pick it up off the ground, but at what cost? When is it a good idea to just say, you know what, this is too heavy, let me just put it back down? So the thing about it is this. Time under tension is a process in which your muscles stay tense for a certain period of time. Now, when you're going through a range of motion, so let's take bicep curls, for example, right? When you're doing a bicep curl and you're curling it, the amount of time that it takes for your muscles to go from a concentric to an eccentric, there's a certain period of time that it spends. That is the time under tension. So if the muscle is able to stay tense for a certain period of time, that is a great way to build strength. The thing that you have to keep in mind, though, is that the external force that's being pressed against the muscle, in this case the dumbbell, if I'm curling it, may need to either be challenging enough or somewhat challenging to be able to exert the amount of force necessary to actually have those muscles be under tension. When people do time under tension, they usually have a certain second range. So you hear people say 1 second concentric, 1 second eccentric. Or if they're going slower, they may say 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. Or the one that you usually see most common, 4 seconds up and 4 seconds down. Those are usually the best time periods to use to really work on building strength when it comes to time under tension. Now, if you're taking a move, let's say like deadlifts, when you do a deadlift, and if you ever looked at professionals doing a deadlift, there is a certain period of time where those muscles are staying tense as the body is picking up the weight. Now you have to be very, very careful. If we're taking and applying the same number range, in this case 1 second or 2 seconds or 4 seconds, when you start to go outside that 4-second range, then you start to run the risk of getting injured. Here's the thing. The moment the muscles are tensing up, they're on a clock, right? They're on a countdown timer. That means the longer they stay tense, the greater chance that they're going to reach fatigue. And once they reach fatigue, your body now is going to start to find other muscles to compensate to be able to hold that force up. If we take the example of the deadlift, when you notice that people are having a very, very challenging time with the deadlift, right? You're supposed to use your legs and you're supposed to use your abdominals when you're doing the deadlift. What you start to see instead is that people will straighten their legs first before their body comes up, and then they start to round their back, and then they're using actually their lower back to help pull the weight up. That is a terrible way to do deadlifts. You're not supposed to be lifting with your back. You're supposed to be using your legs and your abdominals actually to help you when you're doing your deadlifts. If I go back to the bicep curl, for example, let's say I'm lifting this cup. If I lift the cup and as I get to a point where it's really, really challenging, my curl may go from this to this. And if you notice how my body starts to do this, if you saw what my muscles did in that situation, my body started to tense up in different areas because the rest of the body was trying to compensate for lifting that weight. That is when you run the danger of getting injured. So as soon as you start to go anywhere longer than 4 seconds, it's a really good idea to determine, can I continue lifting this or should I put this down? So I would say don't go past a 4-second mark if you are looking at the amount of time your muscles are staying under tension. And this is more important for when you're really lifting those heavy or very challenging weights. Thanks guys for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And until next time, you max your life.